Ukrainian forces managed to blunt Russian territorial advances and inflict significant casualties and material losses. The Russian offensive effort in Donetsk has stalled in recent months due to poor weather, exhaustion among Russian forces, and effective Ukrainian adaptation to the way Russian troops have been fighting, said Michael Kofman, a senior fellow at the Carnegie Endowment for International Peace in Washington. Recruiting soldiers into the army has never been that easy in Russia even during peacetime. Recruits are often subject to hazing and bullying by more experienced soldiers, and as such joining the army is viewed as something to be avoided by many young Russian men. The Russian government does not appear to be concerned about the average Russian soldier's safety and well-being. Already unpopular during times of peace, this desperation to avoid being drafted into an active war becomes even more acute. According to Z war correspondent Kompromat, Russian troops are exhausted, and Ukrainian forces are actively counterattacking. The Russian military correspondent admitted in his report that the situation in the area of Donetsk and Pokrovsk is far from successful for the Russian armed forces. According to him, if earlier Russian forces declared the encirclement of Ukrainian positions, now the situation is mirrored. Only small assault groups of 3 to 4 people remain on the front line. The war correspondent also noted that the Russian army is no less exhausted than the enemy, and the Ukrainian forces, realizing the shortage of people in the Russian troops, have stepped up counterattacks. He emphasized that the enemy has realized that we have a shortage of forces and is becoming brazen in a number of areas. It is clear that the Russian army is having serious problems holding on to the captured territories, and its forces are exhausted. Ukrainian counterattacks and competent defenses mean that even in places where Russian troops are trying to gain a foothold, their presence remains precarious and vulnerable. Relying on the North Korean military offers another solution, but North Korean troops have no combat experience, use different military tactics, and most don't speak Russian, which makes it more difficult to coordinate for specific combat operations. Russian soldiers have complained that they do not know what to do with them.